Let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up one day, looked around, and realized nothing in your life has really changed? You're still in the same job, making the same money, struggling with the same problems. And then you wonder, why do some people rise to greatness, while others stay stuck, struggling, watching from the sidelines? The truth is brutal. 99% of people will never be successful. Not because they don't want to be, not because they don't dream of a better life, but because they don't understand the invisible traps that keep them from ever breaking free. Today, we're going deep, no sugarcoating, no cliches. I'm about to tell you why most people fail, and more importantly, how you can escape the fate of the 99%. But before we start, ask yourself, are you really ready for the truth? Because once you hear it, you'll never be able to see the world the same way again. Imagine this. A man wakes up at 7 a.m. to the sound of an alarm clock. He drags himself out of bed, exhausted. He showers, throws on some clothes, and rushes out the door. He fights traffic, grabs a cheap coffee, and clocks into work at exactly 9 a.m. He works all day, sometimes pretending to be busy, sometimes actually busy, but deep down, he knows this isn't what he was meant for. At 5 p.m., he rushes home, too tired to do anything productive. He sits in front of the TV, scrolling his phone, watching other people live their dreams. He goes to bed, and the next day, the cycle repeats, and the worst part, he thinks this is normal. Now, let me tell you something most people will never admit. The system is designed to keep you trapped. You're trained to follow orders from childhood. You're told to work hard, get a stable job, save money. You're convinced that success is about luck or connections, but that's all a lie. And that's why 99% of people will never break out of this loop. Because they don't even realize they're in a trap. Now, let's get real. How do you break free? How do you escape the fate of the 99%? Let me show you. You've been told your whole life, work hard and success will follow, but that's the biggest lie ever told. Do construction workers not work hard? Do janitors not work hard? Do single mothers working two jobs not work hard? Hard work alone does not guarantee success. If it did, the hardest workers in the world wouldn't be struggling to pay their bills. The real question isn't, are you working hard? It's, are you working on the right thing? Let me tell you about a man who learned this the hard way. There was once a man named David. He worked 60 hours a week at a factory, day in, day out, breaking his back for minimum wage. He prided himself on working harder than anyone else. But when the company shut down, he was left with nothing. Now compare that to another man, James. James also worked hard, but instead of just working for money, he worked on learning skills that made him more valuable. He learned marketing, he studied sales, he invested in himself. When the company shut down, James didn't panic. He had options, he had skills. And within a year, he was making more money than ever before. The lesson: the world does not reward effort. It rewards results. So, ask yourself, are you just working hard? Or are you working smart? 99% of people will never be successful because they're scared. Scared of failing, scared of losing, scared of what other people think. Let me give you the truth. Success is built on failure. Every billionaire, every icon, every self-made success story, they all failed. They all got rejected, they all lost money. But the difference, they didn't stop. Do you know how many times Jeff Bezos was laughed at when he said he was going to sell books online? Do you know how many times Elon Musk was told Tesla would fail? Most people quit after their first failure. The 1% keep going. So let me ask you, what are you afraid of? Because that fear is the only thing standing between you and success. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by people who complain, make excuses, and never take action, guess what? You'll become just like them. Now, let's take to people. One spends his time with winners, People who push him, challenge him, make him think bigger. The other spends his time with losers, people who make excuses, blame the world, and do nothing. Who do you think will be more successful? So take a look around you. Are the people in your life lifting you up or pulling you down? Because if they're pulling you down, it's time to walk away. Now, you know the truth. Most people will never be successful. They work hard but on the wrong things. They play it safe instead of taking risks. They surround themselves with the wrong people. But now you have a choice. Will you keep living like the 99%? Or will you do what it takes to join the 1%? Because let me tell you, the clock is ticking, time is running out. And success waits for no one. Are you ready to change your life? If yes, then start now, take action. Work on the right things, take risks, surround yourself with greatness. And most importantly, never settle for average. That's the only way to escape the fate of the 99%. And if you do, one day, people will look at you and say, how did they do it? There's a story about an elephant, a massive, powerful beast, capable of tearing down trees, crushing anything in its path. And yet, in some parts of the world, elephants are held captive. Not with chains, not in cages, but with nothing more than a small rope tied to one leg. Why? Because when that elephant was a baby, it was tied to that rope, and no matter how hard it pulled, it couldn't break free. It tried and tried until one day it gave up. It learned that resistance was useless, and so, even as it grew into a mighty creature, strong enough to snap the rope in an instant, it never tried again. That is exactly how most people live their lives. They've been conditioned to believe they can't escape their circumstances, that they're stuck in their job, that they're not good enough, that they'll never be rich, successful, or powerful. And so, they never even try. But let me ask you something. What if everything you believed about yourself was a lie? What if the limits you think you have don't even exist? You ever notice how most people settle? They get a decent job, a decent house, a decent life. And then they stop pushing. They stop improving, they stop growing because they're comfortable. And comfort is the silent killer of success. Every great entrepreneur, every billionaire, every person who has ever made history, they all lived outside their comfort zone. They took risks when it was scary. They pushed forward when it was uncomfortable. They did the things others weren't willing to do. Think about it. Jeff Bezos quit a high-paying Wall Street job to start Amazon out of his garage. Elon Musk bet his entire fortune on Tesla and SpaceX when everyone told him he was crazy. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, but he refused to stop training. They could have given up. They could have played it safe. But they didn't because they refused to be comfortable. Now ask yourself, are you too comfortable? Because if you are, you're in danger. And if you don't break out soon, you never will. I don't have time. I don't have the money. I wasn't born into wealth. Sound familiar? These are the excuses of the 99% who will never be successful. But let me tell you something brutal. Everyone has the same 24 hours. Everyone starts somewhere. Everyone faces challenges. Yet some people make millions while others struggle. Why? Because the successful ones don't make excuses. There was a man named Chris Gardner, homeless, sleeping in train station bathrooms with his young son. No money, no safety net, but he didn't sit around blaming the world. He took action. He worked harder than everyone else. He learned high-value skills, and that man? He became a multimillionaire. You think you have it tough? Maybe you do, but you know what? So did everyone who ever became successful. Excuses don't pay the bills, action does. So the question is, are you going to be the person who finds a way, or the one who finds an excuse? Do you know why most people never chase their dreams? Because they're terrified of what others will think. What if I fail? What if they laugh at me? What if I look stupid? So instead of going after what they want, they stay small. They play it safe. They let the opinions of others control their lives. But let me give you the truth. No one is thinking about you as much as you think they are. The people who laugh at you, they'll forget in a week. The people who doubt you, they'll be asking for advice when you make it. The people who criticize you, they're usually the ones who never did anything themselves. And if you let them stop you, guess what? You'll be just like them. Success is not free, it has a price. The price: late nights, early mornings, sacrificing comfort, risking failure, facing judgment. Most people don't want to pay that price. That's why they stay where they are. But for the few, the 1% who refuse to settle, they understand something. The price of success is high, but the price of regret is even higher. So the final question is simple. Are you willing to pay the price? Or will you look back one day and realize you were just another person who never made it? This is your wake-up call. Time to break free. Time to rise. No more waiting. No more excuses. It's now or never. There's a disease out there. No, it's not a virus. It's not something you catch from the air. It's something worse. It spreads quietly, infecting the mind, shutting down ambition, killing dreams before they ever have a chance to live. It's called mediocrity, and the worst part, 99% of people don't even realize they have it. They wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, and go to sleep, day after day, year after year. They do what they're told, follow the script, and before they know it, their life is over. And what do they have to show for it? A few paychecks, a house they can barely afford, a life that looks successful on the outside but feels empty inside. This is the silent epidemic that's stealing people's lives, not all at once, but little by little, until there's nothing left but you. You still have time. If you're listening to this, it means you have a choice. You can keep following the same routine as everyone else, or you can break out, because make no mistake, success is not normal. It's not what 99% of people have, and it's not what 99% of people ever will have. If you want more, you have to be different, and that means waking up to the great lie. Work hard, and you'll be successful. That's what they told you, right? Work hard, get good grades, get a good job, save money, retire, and yet, look around. How many hardworking people are struggling? How many people work to jobs just to pay rent? How many people spend decades grinding, only to end up with nothing? Hard work alone is not enough. Because while you're busy working, the rich are playing a different game. They don't trade time for money, they trade money for money. They own assets that make them rich while they sleep. They build businesses that print money even when they're on vacation. They understand the rules of the game, and they use them to win. Hard work is only step one. If you stop there, you'll never escape. So the real question is, do you know how to play the game? Let's talk about the system, because whether you realize it or not, you've been programmed from birth. From the moment you stepped into school, you were trained to follow orders. Raise your hand to speak, sit down and do as you're told. Memorize, don't question, and then what? They hand you a degree and push you into a job where the rules stay the same. Work hard, but don't ask for too much. Stay in your lane, be grateful for what you have. They don't teach you how to get rich. They don't teach you how to invest. They don't teach you how to build wealth. They don't teach you how to create freedom. Because if they did, who would keep working for them? This is the system that keeps 99% of people trapped. But now you see it, and once you see the truth, you can never go back. Let's get real. Right now, you have two choices. You can walk away, say this was motivating, and go back to life as usual. Or you can make a decision, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because this is the moment that separates the 99% from the 1%. It's not about talent. It's not about intelligence. It's not about luck. It's about who is willing to act, because the truth is, the opportunities are already out there. The strategies are already available. The people who make it, they aren't waiting. They aren't hesitating, they're moving now. So the only question left is, will you be one of them? This is your moment. The clock is ticking. What are you going to do? Let me tell you a secret about success. It's not about how smart you are. It's not about where you come from. It's not even about how much money you start with. It's about how much pain you're willing to endure. Because make no mistake, the road to success is brutal. You will be tested. Your friends will doubt you. Your family will think you're crazy. You will fail not once, not twice, over and over again. And this is where 99% of people quit. The moment it gets hard, the moment it stops being fun. The moment it feels impossible, but the 1%, they don't stop. When they lose money, they figure out how to make more. When they fail, they analyze, adjust, and go again. When people tell them it won't work, they make it work. Because they understand one thing the 99% don't. Success is never given. It is earned through sacrifice, pain, and relentless persistence. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. On one side is comfort, it's easy, it's safe. It's what 99% of people choose, but you already know where it leads. Regret, struggle, a life that's good enough but never great. And on the other side, the unknown, it's risky. It's terrifying, there are no guarantees. But if you choose it, if you bet on yourself, everything changes. Because success is never about waiting, it's about choosing. So here's the final question. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to wake up earlier, work harder than everyone else? Learn, adapt, and never stop pushing forward? If the answer is yes, then welcome to the 1%. Your journey starts now, that's it, no more waiting. No more excuses, it's time to go all in. 99% of people will never be successful. Not because they can't, not because they don't have potential, but because they won't choose success. They'll wait, they'll doubt themselves. They'll settle, but you don't have to. You have everything you need, right now. The only thing missing? Action. So go, start the business, take the risk. Make the sacrifice and never look back. This is your moment. What will you do with it? The moment that separates the weak from the strong. The moment that divides the quitters from the relentless. The moment that creates legends. Because here's the truth, you don't get another life. This is your shot right now. You are standing at the edge of your destiny. And you have two choices. Do nothing. Stay where you are, keep dreaming, keep waiting. And watch your life slip through your fingers, one wasted day at a time. Or step up, decide, right now, that you will be different. That you will be the 1%, that you will rise when others fall. Because in the end, success is not about luck. It's not about talent. It's not about waiting for the right time. It's about courage. It's about discipline. It's about an unbreakable will. The road will be brutal. But so what? Pain is temporary. Greatness is forever. People will doubt you. But so what? Your success will be their silence. You will fail, but so what? The 1% don't cry about failure. They bleed, they sweat, and they win. So listen to me. This is not just a speech. This is a warning. Time is running out. The clock is ticking. You are either building your dream, or you are being used to build someone else's. You are either in control of your future, or you are being controlled. You are either part of the 99%, or you are breaking free. There is no in-between. There is no middle ground. So make your choice, not tomorrow, not next week, now, because one day, you will look back at this moment. And you will either say, that was the day I changed everything, or you will whisper, that was the day I let my future die. Which will it be? Now it's your turn. You've heard the truth. You've felt the fire, but motivation is useless without action. So here's what you need to do right now. Hit that like button if this video shook something inside you. Subscribe if you refuse to be part of the 99%. Drop a comment and declare your commitment. What will you do today to break free? But most importantly, Don't just watch this and move on. Do something. Start the business. Make the sacrifice. Cut out the distractions. Work harder than ever before, because at the end of the day, you either control your life or life controls you. Make the choice. Be the 1%. Win forever. Let's get it. See you at the top.